Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts. So this video is part of the Let's Get Organized YouTube hop, and for the month of November we're focusing in on small embellishments. So please be sure and go check out everyone's videos that is participating in this YouTube hop for this month, and I'll have links to all of those videos in the description below. Okay, so I did move, I guess it was maybe 3 months ago. Let's see, August, September, October. It's almost 4 months ago now. And I did make a lot of progress the first couple months, and then I got stuck. I think I just got very overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I had everywhere, and I haven't been making very much progress recently. And part of the problem too is just trying to pull things together and figure out where things go in my new space. I also did empty out all the drawers and put everything in, packed everything into boxes. So I'm having to go back and reorganize even that stuff. I didn't really want to have things move with stuff inside the drawers. I just felt it would be better to take all that out. So anyway, my embellishments are a little bit of a mess because I just took them out of the boxes and just put them into the Alex drawer in no particular order. I have a few of my drawers that have been organized. I have all of my wood veneer in one drawer. I have all of my bling in another drawer. And I use the Alex 6-drawer unit, the one that's really wide. And I like to use that one to store all of these three-dimensional small embellishments. But all of the rest of the stuff that I have in there is pretty much a big mess. So we're going to go through some things here. I want to share with you a whole bunch of different bins and containers and little storage things that I use in my organization. There's good things and bad things about all of them. I think when you have items like this, it's good to have different size containers for different things that you're storing. And sometimes if you have a small container like this, you know, there might be things that don't fit in there. If you have a larger container like this, it's not a good way to store it because it's hard to find things once you throw a bunch of stuff in there. So sometimes having the right size storage is good. And there was a video that I did a couple years ago where I organized my paper clips. And that's one of my biggest regrets that I've ever done. So I'm going to share that story with you guys as well. You know, sometimes when you're organizing, you might try something and think that that's the right way to do it, and then you realize later that maybe it wasn't such a great idea. And organization sometimes can be tricky because what might work for one person might not work for someone else. So I think my lesson learned there was before I jump in and just do something for like everything that I have in that category, I might just take some time and live with it in a smaller, you know, just do it for a few of those items just to see how I like it before I jump in and just do the whole thing. So yeah, so that's kind of what happens with the paper clips. And what I realized after I did that storage solution was that once I had changed that and the way I was organizing my paper clips, I quit using them because I couldn't find the ones I wanted when I wanted to use them. So yeah, so lesson learned. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about these different storage bins or containers that I have here. And I'll share with you some of my favorites that I have that I use. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorites. This comes from the Dollar Tree, these little containers. There's 10 in a package, and it's only $1. Now, I haven't purchased these recently, and I do know that the Dollar Tree has upped their prices. So these might be more expensive. I'm pretty sure they still sell these because they are on their website. And so you get 10 for $1 or maybe $1.25. I'm not really sure what the price is now. These are the SureFresh reusable mini containers with lids. And they have these in a rectangular size. They also have a round one. I like the ones that are rectangles because I think it fits things better, and it's also a better use of the space, especially when you try to kind of contain them. And I sometimes will use containers inside of a drawer, and it makes it a little bit easier to move things around in the drawer if you have it contained inside of another container. And so you can see here that I have a bunch of these little containers inside of another. This is also from the Dollar Tree. I think it's the Storage Essentials. It's kind of an acrylic or like clear plastic container, and so I think there's actually the label right here. There it is. It's called the Essentials Organizer, and this is also from the Dollar Tree. So I think that this works really well. And I like putting these little containers inside of a bigger container and putting it in the drawer. That way it makes it a little bit easier to move things around in the drawer, and to get I can bring this whole thing to my workspace if I want to, instead of trying to carry, you know, just the little individual ones. Okay, so these, if you're looking at the Dollar Tree and you can't find these, they're not in the craft section. They actually have these in the kitchen section by the kitchen storage. So that's usually where they are. And sometimes they'll be hanging up on a one of those hanging strips like this on an end cap. So look for the end caps in the store, and also the kitchen where they have the kitchen items, and also where they have their storage. You might be able to find these in there. And these are really awesome. You can put all kinds of small things in here. And so I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I use these little storage containers. So the first way I have is I have a whole bunch of brads and buttons and things. This is my color storage. I have a different one of these bins for each color. And so you can see we have the yellow, green, orange, red, blue. This is like aqua. I think I had too much blue. I wanted to maybe separate this out into blue and then aqua. And I'm not sure I did a good job of that yet. And then we have the pink one. Okay, so those are the different, you know. So this is one way of storing your embellishments by color. And so if I'm working on a project and I need something pink, I can just pull this little bin out and look through it for something that is pink. And so I think these are really cool. Now I want to get another one of these containers to put these color bins in. It's hard to call them, but this is something new that I just recently did, and I really like having this stored this way. So we have those here, and those are mostly brads with a few buttons mixed in there, and so that's what's stored in those little bins. Now the one downside to this would be that if you have more orange and you filled this whole thing up and you have to have more than one, then this might not be the solution to store your items by color. Okay, let me go ahead and share with you another smaller container system. This one comes from Harbor Freight. At one point, I believe these were around $6, and then you could use the 20% off coupon. But I think the price has gone up quite a bit on these. I want to say it might be closer to $8 now, but I haven't purchased these in a while either. But this is a organizer from Harbor Freight, which is a, I guess it's like a hardware store that sells tools and things. And you can also buy this online as well if you don't have a Harbor Freight in your area. But it comes with all of these little containers, and these are slightly smaller than these Dollar Tree ones. So you can see the difference in the size here. And so sometimes when you're trying to fit something into this one from Harbor Freight, it may not fit, but then you can upsize to this one from the Dollar Tree. So it depends really on what I'm trying to store, what container I use. But these are really awesome, and you can store a lot in here, and I think it's really cool. I love these little containers, and you can either store it in the box like this, or you can store these little containers in other places. And I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas I have for that as well. Okay, and I have things stored in here like, I guess they're like these little resin pieces, like flowers. I have some sequins, just all different little bits, some little dimensional flowers. It's mostly resin pieces. There's some paper clips. Some of these items here came from Spellbinders card kits. They had at one point, a few years back, when they had their card kits, they had a bunch of dimensional things that would come inside the card kit. So, for example, this was all things that came in a card kit. And I did use a few of the items to make some cards, and then this was what was left over. And so I just put it into one of those little containers. So you can store all kinds of different things in here. Here are some more. These are the Dollar Tree bins, and you can see I have like more resin pieces, more enamel charms and things like that. And then let's see, here's another box that I have that has, this has, I don't know, just a whole bunch of stuff. One of the things I like about these containers too is that they're clear. so you can see through them. I don't really label any of this stuff. I guess I could at some point label it. It might make it a little bit easier to find things, but it's kind of a mess right now. It's not really that organized. Okay, here's another container that I have where I have all of these Dollar Tree little containers in here, and these all have paper clips. And so you can see that I have all of these stored. Now, these paper clips, I don't mind the way that I have these stored. This is not too bad because all of these are the same paper clip. So if I wanted to get one of these stars, you know, this all the same. So it doesn't matter that they're all in there together. And I think that that works out really well. Okay, so let me show y'all my paper clip storage. Wait, before I do that, let's talk about the next size storage solution that I have here. So this container here, which is the next size up from the Dollar Tree container, if I have something larger that I want to store, is this one. This comes from Michaels. It's called the Super Stacker Crayon Box. And this is clear. I like the clear ones because it's really easy to see what's inside. They do have them in different colors. And I've seen people use the ones that are different colors to do things like this where you have embellishments stored by color. So if you had that, you could use the color one and that way you would know that the red one has your red embellishments. But I have only purchased the clear ones, and there's two different sizes that I know of. I don't know if they have other ones, but there's this size here. There's also a larger one, and this is the Super Stacker Pencil Box. This one is also clear. They do have this in the different colors as well, I think, and you can get these from Michaels. Okay, and I think where I found these in the Michaels store was up in the front where they have those bins with those different like deals and dollar things, and it's like at the front of the store. And I don't think I've been at Michaels in probably over a year or so. I think they still sell these there, and I'll see if I can find a link to where these are on the website. I think I did see them on the website, so I'll put a link. You can purchase them online if you can't find them in your store. And I think they were pretty reasonably priced, and I think when I picked mine up, they were on sale. Okay, so the types of things that I like to put in here are things like this that are very three-dimensional. They're larger. They wouldn't fit into the Dollar Tree or the Harbor Freight containers. And you open this up like this, and you can take the lid off. And so it's really cool. These fit inside the Alex drawer, and I like putting these in there because it's really easy to see what you have. It contains things really well, and you can put larger items in these little containers. So some of the other things that I like to store in these types of containers, I have some small doilies that are three-dimensional. I have these dimensional elements that I picked up from different places, and I have those in there. And then I have some wooden buttons, and so we have wooden buttons in that one. And then for the larger ones, I have this one here where I put all my rosettes. So it really is helpful to have things sorted by category. So these are by color. I have these kind of more by what type of embellishment it is. Okay, so the next container I want to share with you guys is the photo cases. This is also from Michaels, and you can get these there individually. They also come in a 6-pack, I think, and also you can get a big box of them. But this is the 4x6 photo cases, and these are really awesome if you have larger embellishments like this right here. These are cork pieces. Miss Bella, shh. These are cork pieces that came from the 𝗁𝗏𝗄 collection, and so I just have those stored in one of these photo cases. And in this one I have a whole bunch of different charms, and so it just keeps everything to contain, and you can keep things that are similar in the same place and together. Okay, so we have those photo cases. So I did use these photo cases to store bigger embellishments like wood veneer, these cork pieces, the charms, and things like that. Okay, I also have this right here that came from scrapbook.com. Now this is for really small items. You can store beads, sequins. I have some metal charms in here. And this one, I actually had my embossing tool or my glue gun or something that was really close to there. I really apologize. Miss Bella is whining in the background. That's my dog. I'm not sure she really wants attention, I guess. But anyway, I messed up the corner here, but it still works. I melted it. So you need to be sure not to get any of this stuff next to your hot tools. Okay, so this has a lid that comes off, and then it has 12 of these little containers, and you can't really fit anything too large in here. It's really mostly meant for smaller embellishments like sequins and beads and small charms and things like this. So you can see you just twist off the lid and then you have that there. Now it is clear, which I really like, and you can see everything in there, and so that works out really well. So I have, I think this was gifted to me by my friend 𝗀𝗴𝗄𝗃, so I only have one of those, but you can, if you like this solution, Joanne has a lot of her stuff stored this way. You can find that at scrapbook.com. Okay, so the next size up that we have is this container here. This also comes from Michael's, and I purchased this a while back. I can't remember what it's called, but it would be back there with the storage items that they still sell this. It's a little bit bigger than this one, you can see. And the only thing that I don't like about this particular container is that it can open pretty easily, because the only thing that's holding it shut is this little tab right here. But this one's really great if you have larger items. So you can see here that I have a bunch of pom-poms stored in here. So I have that all stored together. And in this one I have some three-dimensional flowers. And so it's good for larger items that wouldn't fit in the smaller containers. And so those work out really well. Okay, so that's all of the containers that I wanted to share with you guys. So let's talk about the paper clips and what happened with that. And I'm going to share with you how I have them stored and what I wish I wouldn't have done. So most paper clips, when you buy them, come in packages like this. And so I had packages, they were all different shapes and sizes, and they took up a lot of space. And I thought, well, I'll just take all of these paper clips off of the package and put them into a bin. And I did. So I have 3 bins here. And I also have those ones that I shared with you, this right here. So these are all my paper clips. So this is not bothering me too much, because these are pretty easy to access. I can see what I have. I can go right to the one that I want and pull it out, and I know what's in there. Like, these are all dogs. I have all of these little puppy dog paper clips. Easy to find, works really well, super cool. For storing paper clips if you have a lot of the same paper clip. So that's a really good storage solution. What's not working is this. So I had all of these paper clips from Spellbinders, and these are silver ones, and I just have them all thrown together in here. And it looks a hot mess. I mean, if I was looking for something, I would have to dig through here. I don't even know what I have in here. I kind of vaguely remember there's little people like this little guy. But if I was just looking and glancing through my embellishment drawer, this would be a hard thing for me to actually use, because I can't really tell what's in there by just looking at it. And so I really regret this a lot that I did that. I kind of wish that I would have kept my paper clips in the packaging like this, even though they took up more space. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do to fix this. I think for these paper clips, I could take some of these containers that I have here from the Dollar Tree and just spend a few minutes going through and separating these out into the different ones, because they are a lot of the same paper clips. So I have like people, there's airplanes, there's like little flower. So I could go through and just separate those out. There's probably about 8 different types in here, so I would need 8 of these containers. But then I would have that all separate, and when I would go to look through my items, if I wanted to use a car or a paper or an airplane, I could immediately, you know, tell which one was in there just by looking at it. And so I'm definitely probably going to go ahead and just take these out of this bigger container and put them into smaller ones. And I could potentially use the smaller Harbor Freight containers, because these paper clips are not very large, so they would fit in there. And depending on how many I have of each one of these, I might do that, because that way it would be a better use of those containers. And then for these, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I know that I definitely need to change the way that I'm storing this. And one of the thoughts that I had was to maybe I can make my own packaging, which is kind of a shame that I would have to do that, but I could take some cardstock and put some slits in the cardstock and then put the paper clips in and have it like this so that I could actually see what I have. The other thing that's really bad about the paper clips all being together like this is they're kind of getting messed up because they're just all mixed in together and they get tangled up. So this was not a good decision on my part to do this, and after I did it, I really regretted it. So if you have paper clips, don't store them this way. That would be my recommendation. I think it's best if you have a whole bunch of one type of paper clip. Yeah, do something like this. This works out really well. But if you have, and see, like even this one, because these are all the same paper clip, I could take these off of this board or this packaging and put them into a container, and I would be able to easily find what I need. But for some of the other ones that are unique paper clips, or that are different, that have different designs like this, I should have left these in the packaging. So they're getting messed up, and I can't find what I need when I go to use these. Okay, so that is the paper clip storage. And I'll put a link in the description below to where you can find the original video that I did where I shared how I organized my paper clips. And I think I had other things in that video as well. It wasn't just paper clips, it was different type of embellishments that I had that I was organizing that day. And so yes. Okay, so let's see what else. I wanted to also share with you this container here. I've had these for years and years. I think they're probably about maybe 10 years old, and I can't remember the brand. But if you go watch the video where I shared the paper clips, I actually shared this as well. And these containers are really cool, but I don't really like these types of containers that are connected together like this, even though this one does have a lock, so you have to press on this purple thing in order to open this. And they do individually, each one of these opens individually. But I really prefer to have individual containers like this. I much prefer that. So these are pretty cool though, but I think I only have 3 of these, and I have some buttons, and I think it's mostly buttons stored in these little containers or storage things. Okay, so there's one more storage item that I wanted to share with you guys. So this is a storage solution for washi tape. But the reason why I'm going to share this with you is because you can also use it for small embellishments. And this came from Michaels. It's the Simply Tidy 10-inch 3-drawer organizer. So let me go ahead and move this over, and I'm going to show y'all something here. So when you open this up, it has 3 sections. Okay. So you have 3 sections, and this little container from the Dollar Tree does not really fit in there because you can't close it. It doesn't fit this way. If you take the lid off, you can kind of make it fit, but not really. So that's really not really an option. But there are other things that you can do in here. And one of the things that I found was that you can actually take these little things right here, these organizers or containers from Harbor Freight, and you can fit these in these drawers. So I just think this is super cool. So I was thinking about putting a couple of these drawer units in the space where I have my other, I have some other acrylic drawer units where I store ephemera by color. I have some enamel dots by color, and then I also have some drawers where I have embellishments by type. And so I thought it would be really cool to put some of my smaller 3D embellishments over there with those other organizers. And you can fit a lot in this 3-drawer unit because, let's see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if we can fit 10. You could probably fit 10. It would be a tight squeeze. I don't think 10's going to go in there. You can put 10 in there, but it would be hard to get things out. So I'm going to say 9 times 3 is 27, and then 27 times 3 is 78, I think. And so you can get a lot of those in this one 3-drawer storage organizer. And so I think this would be a really awesome solution for storing your smaller 3D embellishment, for storing your smaller 3-dimensional embellishments. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have to share for this video. I hope I've given you guys some ideas on the different storage solutions out there that you can use to store your small embellishments. And be sure and go check out everyone else's video that is participating in the YouTube Hop. It's really a lot of fun to see how everyone is storing different items in their craft room each month. Okay, well that's all I have, guys. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.